Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have an interesting topic because this isn't just going to be about breakups. This is something of a life skill. Zach, welcome. I think something is wrong with your connection. Hopefully, it's on now. Sometimes it's a bit delayed before it starts. How to let go of your ex? How do I let go of stress? How do I let go of problems I can't fix? How do I let go of my insecurities? How do I let go? How do I let go? How do I let go? This is probably one of the biggest issues for most human beings in the world, right? Is how you carry your stress, how you carry your problems, how you carry your worries, right? Myself included. And Zach, let me know if you're on deck right now, if you can hear, or if anyone's on deck, because you said there were some problems earlier. And I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper as we get some people on deck. But how to let go of your ex. Thanks, T-Mac. I appreciate it, bud. Simply asked, but not simply done. Right? I'm here now. Everything seems okay. No problem, Zach. Welcome. I haven't seen you on the live stream before, but welcome. Let me know. The way I usually do this is I unpack the question or the topic. I'll talk about maybe 5-10 minutes. I'll go on some spins here. And then feel free to put any questions. Scotty Fitzgerald, how you doing? May, how are you doing? Yeah, what a topic, right? It was motivated by a live coaching session I've done earlier today and something that I've worked on with some other people and a new service I'm going to offer in the future regarding letting go of things, specifically things that are stressful, insecurities. And if you really think about it, at the core of where we have trouble in our lives is probably the insecurities, which stem from what? Something that happened in childhood, something that happened in past relationships, something traumatic. I think we often think of post-traumatic stress as being something from war, which it is. Something from a bad accident, which it is. But you can have post-traumatic stress from an event in your life that brought shock, fear, shame, and you can literally carry that into your life for the rest of your life if you're not aware of it. And basically, you don't know why you have your insecurities, and you don't know why you have limitations on doing things. Think about this. How many people are scared of heights? Oh, I'm scared of heights. Okay. I personally wouldn't say I'm scared of heights. I am claustrophobic of small places. Where does that stem from? I wasn't born that way because my mom's stomach was a small place, right? So, well, not all stomachs are small, but you get what I'm saying. So if you asked me that and I said, where does that come from? I could immediately circle back because I've opened up my mind to the idea that when was the first time I had this problem? And try this. Put it down in the comments below. If you have a limited belief in insecurity, let's go beyond the X right now for a minute. We'll circle back to the X when I get more on deck. I'll circle back to this. But think about this for a moment. Heights is a common one. There's a lot of people scared of clowns. Have you ever heard of this? A clown phobia? I've had a friend that's scared of frogs. She told me, she goes, go ahead and take those. She had a really nice restaurant with a bunch of different plants downstairs and a lotus. I don't know if you know what a lotus is, but they grow in water. And she said, go ahead and take those plants because I don't like them because they attract frogs. And I'm thinking to myself, frogs? You think to yourself, what's the harm of a frog? What's up, Justin? And so I asked her, I said, why are you scared of frogs? And she said, I just don't like frogs. Well, when was the first time you were scared of frogs? So she goes back. She goes, Mac, I grew up very poor in northern Thailand. I grew up in this area, and we had a bathroom that was separate than the house. Okay. Some people are going, wow, this actually happens still, right? They have outhouses and whatnot. She said it was late at night. She had to use the toilet, bathroom, restroom, whatever you want to call it, outhouse in her case. She walked out there. She said it was dark. She said there wasn't a lot of light, and she was a little kid. She didn't say the age, but she was small. And then she said she was going pee, and a light came on. The light was flickering, and she looked down at the bottom, and there was multiple frogs all over the floor, and she went, ah! So now, hence, this woman's in her 30s, and she is scared and doesn't like frogs. Think about that for a moment. Now, someone would say, what? And then, show the girl a frog, and the frog's safe. It's okay. But that's literally how your insecurities and your brain works. It might be more intricate. Maybe you have a different opinion of that. That's my view. That's my theory based on, some basic psychology that I've read and studied in my own life and questions I've asked myself about my own limitations and insecurities. And when you ask that question, when was the first time you had that problem? If you do it properly and you look back in the Rolodex of your life experiences, a lot of times it's from when you were a kid. Something happened and something put that belief in your head. And the thing is, the belief could be completely, absolutely negative and ridiculous. And going back to me not liking small spaces, small spots, being claustrophobic, if you will, you say, well, where do you get that from? Because a lot of people are claustrophobic. A lot of people don't like that, right? When I was about 6th grade would be 10 years old. I would say about 10 years old, 10 to 11 years old. We were at me and a buddy of mine were at a shopping mall. And when I was young, you'd take public transit to the mall we were at. The mall was, 15-minute ride to my house or something. But we had public buses. The buses weren't very nice. That being said, one of my friends, the bus stop was in front of a bank. And so one of my friend that was with me, his brother, who was a teenager, and I would say 17 or 18, pulls up in a hatchback Ford Escort, if you know what that is. Very small car. And they're joking around. The car is full. And if you know teenagers, I don't know about the rest of the world, but if someone has a car and you're 16, 17, not everyone has a car, so the car is usually full. So the car was full of these guys. They're all joking around. And so they go, oh, we'll give you guys a ride home. You don't need to take the bus. So we're like, oh, fuck yeah, we don't have to take the bus. And this hatchback had like a trunk. Looking back, how can I phrase this? It was more like a trunk. It was a trunk, not a hatchback. A trunk hatchback car. I can't verbalize how it was, but here's the deal. They said, look, get in the trunk. My friend's like, yeah, no problem. I get in the trunk. My buddy gets in the trunk. They close the trunk door. I'm uncomfortable. I'm stuck in this weird spot. I had longer legs than my friend. And I just started screaming because it was uncomfortable, couldn't breathe well. And they're giggling. The guy's giggling. And they finally opened the trunk and they let us out. And I said, look, I don't want the ride. I'll take the fucking bus, And my buddy was like, oh, I'm fine. I was comfortable. I could be in the trunk. And I'm like, yeah, not me. I'm like, go ahead and get the ride. I'll take the bus. I'm not, this isn't peer pressure. This is just pure fear. And so they let me sit in the passenger side, like on the floor bearing on the way back. And my friend stayed in the trunk. That being said, someone says, oh, you don't like closed spaces? That's where it comes from. That one incident, that one moment, I would never go in a trunk in my life again. Who would want to? But there's some people like, oh, I could handle it. Tight places. And I've been in a few tight places before. I don't like large crowds. When I was a young kid, I went to a Stevie Nicks concert. A neighbor across the street who was into it. I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I was pretty young. And it was a little scary to me. There was multiple fights that happened around me. And I didn't find the music particularly good because I was too young to understand the lyrics. And so from then on, I never really liked concerts. People would be like, you want to go to a concert? No. because my first experience with that wasn't very good. I'll give you one more, just so you guys can punch this home, because your insecurities, a lot of where you get your problems from that you can't fix, is a roadblock that you've created in beliefs. Okay. Indian food. This is random, but for years, first of all, I never tried Indian food. Then when I was in my early 20s, I was in real estate. And in real estate, you always go out and have a quote unquote executive lunch, right? You go out to eat and you go out to somewhere cool or decent. And that's, 12 or 1 o'clock, at least in my experience at the office I worked at. And my mentor at the time, who I looked up to and I had a lot of respect for, was like, dude, you've never had Indian food? He's raging on. I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound very good to me. And I've had a few Indian friends, and when I went to their houses, the smell in the house from the cooking didn't smell very tasteful. And so it was never something I'm like, oh, let's go get Indian food. And we used to eat when I was a kid, my mom used to shop a lot, and we used to eat at home a lot. So we didn't go out to eat exotic places. Well, Indian isn't exotic, but to me it was at the time. So we go out. I have my first experience with Indian food at the age of, 25, 24 years old. It's a buffet. There's no one eating there, which, if you know restaurants, my dad used to he used to deliver food for restaurants. And he said, don't ever go to restaurants that are empty because they don't turn over their food. Makes sense to me. This restaurant is in a downtown location, good location. The place is fucking empty at lunchtime. So I'm like, all right, doesn't smell very good, not good ventilation. It's a buffet, so the food doesn't taste fresh. Cut a long story short, the Indian food I had at this Indian restaurant wasn't good. And they were teasing me like, oh, you're not open to trying new food and you're this and that. It just didn't taste fucking good. The stuff I had, the chicken was dry. So I immediately told people, I don't like Indian food. I've had my experience with it. I'm done. There's your root. There's your seed. Suddenly everyone, someone goes, let's go get Indian. Hell no. I moved to Thailand about 4 or 5 years later. Good friend of mine who's English from London loves Indian food. And evidently in England, Indian food is very popular. How would I know that? So he's like, hey, mate, let's go get Indian. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like Indian. My other friend from America loves it. I'm going, all right, I'll try it because I'm in a new land and a new place. I've already tried multiple Thai dishes that surprised me. Fuck it. I'll eat the Indian food. It was delicious. It was a different restaurant, a different style of food, a different group of people I was eating with. I was in a different place in my life. I was more open to trying that food. It was absolutely delicious. Do I eat Indian food all the time now? No, because it's very rich and filling, but I appreciate a good buttered chicken or tiki masala. And even sometimes now I'll think about it like, ooh, that was some garlic naan bread. So where am I going with all this? Thanks for the likes, folks. Your problems, your insecurities are all related to your life experiences, which you constantly search through your subconscious, and you go, oh, Indian food, don't like it. Tried it once. Bam, done. You don't really rationally go, why do I not like Indian food? Wait a minute. There's, 100,000 Indian restaurants in California, and the one I chose might not be very good, but there might be another one that's good. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. Right? Hence the reason I think when I was a kid, I loved Taco Bell. I love Mexican food. It's my favorite food. Taco Bell, I wouldn't really say is Mexican food. It's fast food, really. That being said, I think when I was, 9 or 10 years old, I got really sick. This might be gross, but I threw up my chicken quesadilla from Taco Bell. I didn't eat at Taco Bell again for 10 years. You see where I'm going with this? So what you want to do is, the first step is to identify an insecurity, to identify the stress and get really specific on it. All right. So obviously the X breaking up. Someone just asked me yesterday, and I found this really interesting. She was like, my friends, I'm helping them with their breakups. And she goes, they always ask me, why did the person leave? Why did the person cheat? Why would they do this to me? What do you think my answer would be to that? Someone comes to you, their ex is on drugs, their ex is cheating, but why did they cheat on me? Now, a lot of people would sit there and they would answer the question based on their own life experiences. For example, they would answer the question, oh, they cheated on you? Well, that's what all men do. Because that's what their father did. That's what they do. Another person would answer the question, oh, they cheated on you? Well, it was probably a rich guy at the office because women like rich guys. See, people would have a reason that they come up with based on their own life experience and beliefs. Now, how do I answer that question? Dun 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 dun. Write out your fucking story. Why? Because your story tells me why you believe what you do. Secondly, if you write out a good story of the breakup, I mean, what do I mean by good story? Give me some details. Give me some specifics of what happened. And then I can literally go, see, right here is why. For some reason, you're overlooking what they told you. When they told you, you make me feel like shit when you tell me I'm fat. You make me feel like shit when you tell me I should get a fake pair of boobs. And then you go, I don't know why. I don't know why they wanted to leave. And then you go, well, in the story right here, they said that you make them feel like shit, and that that one time that you made a comment about them maybe getting a breast job or a tit job that they really didn't like. Like a lot of times when you write out the story and I go through it with you, I'm like, right here, they're telling you, but you don't like the answer. So you continue to ask more questions. You actually know why they left. Now, if you don't know, you really, really, really don't know, well, you really don't know that person well. You really didn't have a deep relationship. You really hadn't got to a point where you know them, and they just told you who they were. See, someone's with someone for 6 months. They've been in a long-distance relationship for 6 months. They find out that person has another girlfriend in another location, in another place, in another long-distance relationship. And you go, why did they do this to me? Because that's who they are, and they believe it's okay to do that. Well, why would they be that way? Well, maybe their parent cheated on someone. Maybe they feel like one woman's not enough because they're a bit insecure. Could be a variety of reasons. I'd have to ask that person. But if it's a shallow relationship in the time that you've been together, well, you don't really know them that well yet, right? So let me get to the comments over here and we'll get back to this topic because I think this is a great topic. And now that we got a few more people on deck, I'm going to share with you a tactic or strategy that you can use to let go of some things. And I'm going to start offering it as a service. I hear you. I'm here. Everything seems to be working. Good morning, Mac. Good morning, Scotty. Justin Adams. How you doing, y'all? Sort of like PTSD. Yeah, fuck that, Zach says. Arriving. There are many types of Indian food depending on the region it comes from. Yep. There are a lot of factors. X on drugs, X on cheating. Got to get the psychological reasons. There's usually only a few that apply. I'm not sure I agree with that, Rob. I think it's a little bit more intricate than there's only a few reasons that apply. But okay. I think it mainly comes down to 3 things, though. They leave because they didn't feel loved, respected, and appreciated. And I would say, Justin, you're probably saying that because that's what happened in your relationship. What I mean is base psychological reasons. I understand. But there's so many, and that's not me taking a shot at you. I'm just stating that someone else would have a different viewpoint if they had a different experience. So, for example, I'll give you something that, so you say they leave because they didn't feel loved, respected, and appreciated. So you're projecting what happened to you. There's someone that could leave just out of financial reasons. And, you know, my husband lost his job. He can't take care of me any longer. He hasn't found a job in 6 months. Our family needs food in their mouths. I have a lifestyle I need. Is that possibly a reason for someone to leave someone? Yes. Someone would go, oh my God, what a selfish individual. No, that's someone that values being taken care of financially. And the fact that the husband cannot find a job, that's a reason that has nothing to do with love, respect, or appreciation. It has to do with getting taken care of, security. There's usually, let's say, 5 or 6 that a genuine sense can apply to maybe 80% of the cases. And what would you say those 5 or 6 are, out of curiosity, Rob? Justin Adam, that's how I felt. I never left. Instead, they left me. Alex D, because I do know your story, though, here's the thing. And from you writing your story, you had issues with the person's availability and the person's ability to show you attention. So they left because they felt like they weren't enough of what you were looking for. They sometimes leave because they know it's good, but somehow it's heavy for them. They don't want to invest in someone at that point in their lives. Again, could that be a case based on your case, Monica? Financial reasons, when broken down, perhaps equate to a value that is not being met. Sure. But I wouldn't, for example, I wouldn't say if someone leaves someone for financial reasons that it would be they leave because they didn't feel loved, respected, or appreciated. They're feeling like security wasn't provided. And here it goes. If you've ever been with an individual that grew up, quote unquote, poor, they grew up, quote unquote, poor, they value security and financials a lot more. And so that's weighed heavier on the relationship. I could say, Monica, I did feel like leaving a few times because I wasn't ready to settle down. Okay. Did you remember my comment? I just went to it. Let me check on this. I do have a good memory, but remembering individual comments from the channel, yeah, that's not something I mastered yet. But let me take a quick look here. Because you were first on deck, obviously you're eager beaver to hear this. And I just made the comment. Let's check here. Okay. Mr. Zach Kiker. Is that correct? Mr. Zach Kiker. I am going to mention your comment, and we'll unpack that really quick in this 13 on deck. Thanks, folks, for supporting the channel. Thanks for the likes. Life goals. It's been a while since I've been on. How's everyone on this fine day? And life goals, may I ask you about your goals? Have you been fulfilling them and working on them? We'll circle back to this topic because there's a lot to it. How to let go of your ex. How do I let go of stress? And let me ask you guys in the comments, if you're on the live stream, how do you let go of stress? Obviously, exercise gets mentioned quite a bit. How do I let go of problems I can't fix? How do I let go of my insecurities? Answer all those questions. Answer one. Let me know what you guys think because it's a live stream. Let's get interactive. In the meantime, I'm going to talk. Did you remember my comment? No, I didn't, but I'm going to pull it up for you, Mr. Zach Kiker. Let me pull this up. So, and I'm doing this especially for the reason that you came on deck first, Mr. Zach. My girlfriend did this a few weeks ago. So just to let you know, Zach, this is your comment that I'm reading. Let me see if I can get it back on here. Here we go. My girlfriend did this a few weeks ago and told me to just give her time. So he's commenting, she needs time, finding herself, step back. This is an older video that I made that he watched and he's commenting on. I do not remember the details of the video. Forgive me for that. There's over 700 videos. My girlfriend did this a few weeks ago and told me to just give her time to get herself straightened out. She's been suffering through some really bad depression the past few months, and I agreed to let it happen. I promised I wouldn't contact her, but I talked to her mom about it a few days later, and she says that they're having to take her to see a psychiatrist and that she's been staying at their house and having to take off work like 3 days a week because she's so depressed. Maybe she's having panic attacks. Maybe means you don't know. Anyway, when me and her both talked last, she promised she was going to come back when she got herself straightened out. Well, you looking for promises or certainty when she's depressed enough to have to go see a psychiatrist? You need to back off a bit. This is not the time to be seeking out guarantees or certainties about the relationship. Back away from the situation. Let her seek out some therapy. Let her straighten this out. I don't know if drugs are involved or what's going on. So, I mean, what is your relationship if you don't know if drugs are involved? I mean, is this a long distance thing? You should know if your partner's on or off drugs. I wish I could talk to her, but I got to respect her and her parents to not contact her for a while. Zach, how old are you? May I ask? Because contacting her parents, generally speaking, I don't recommend it. If someone's in serious health danger or, the situations like that, maybe you do want to check up on them. I understand that, but it doesn't gain any points for you because you're talking behind her back in some cases. I'm just saying. That being said, if she's saying she has depression, this is something she needs to address and find out. Here's the thing. People do this general say, oh, depression. Where's it come from? Oh, she's just depressed. No, there's a seed there. There's something wrong. Could be from childhood. Could be here's a big one. People hate their job. They go to college just for their parents and they take a major they hate. They put their time into something they don't enjoy. And then they start to hate themselves for the fact that they can't quit that job or that place in school. There was an individual I did a live coaching with recently. His now ex was highly depressed, came from a wealthy family, and was highly into a job that had become something that was extremely low pay, low appreciation, and she couldn't quit. So what your ex has to do is realize where it comes from. The idea that you can't, I don't know if she's on drugs or not. I mean, if you don't know I don't know how close you are to someone if you can't know that. Did the depression come out of nowhere? The good news is they're getting a psychiatrist, so they're seeking out help. The good news is she's identifying she has a problem that she wants to fix. And the good news is she probably should do this on her own, because if you don't have depression, you probably don't know where she's coming from. The other thing, like I said, back off, man. Take some time to look at Zach right now and see what things you want to do with your life and whatnot, because this isn't your arena. You're not going to fix this. And the idea that she told me she promised she'd come back. Promises after breakups, they can be a little dangerous, because all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, she told me this. What if in 2 or 3 months or a month, she's doing really good, she's feeling better about herself, and you call up and you go, hey, when am I going to cash in on that promise? When are you coming back to me? That's not a position you want to be in. If I were you, I'd go into no contact for a bit. Back the hell away. And if she wants to contact you, she can. Do not continue to contact her parents. I wouldn't suggest. I'm 33 and our families all know each other very well and have known each other for a very long time. We're from the same town. We recently moved to Arkansas, and she couldn't stand being away from Aloha. Well, you're 33 years old. Your families know each other. Okay, you have a right to call her up, but back off from that a bit. She's going to see the psychiatrist, and allow her the space that she's asked for. People ignore this. Oh, she asked me for space, so I backed off, but then I called a week later. Okay? You've checked in. When she starts to feel better, if she wants to call you, she can. Does that make sense, Zach? Is there any other questions? Her parents, so So I took her parents. So I took her back home, and every other weekend I would go there. She would come here every other weekend. So I don't know what she was doing in between. Zach, why don't you send your full story into writemac.com? Send your full story in, and I'll do a video response. These bits and pieces and these snippets, I can't really give you a good tailored response. So if you're really going through it and you want to talk on a live coaching call and get some clarity moving forward, that's available too. I could say, Monica, I did feel like leaving a few. Okay. It's been a while. I can certainly deduce a lot of breakup reasons to pre-designed ideal that doesn't align with the other person's family difference that don't meet the ideal. That's correct. It's not so much letting go of our ex themselves, but letting go of what you pictured in your mind, letting go of pain, letting go of what it represents. That's a good way to put it. One thing that I've come to realize is when you do have worry, or you do have one of those annoying thoughts pop up again and again, try to neutralize it rather than push it away. It's kind of like right now with the coronavirus. I'm not going to go deep into that. They tell you not to touch your eyes or touch your nose. And immediately I think, oh, I got an itch on my nose. Do you ever get that? And I think the same thing goes. Someone was like, I just got to stop worrying. No, you got to accept the worry, neutralize the worry, and come to peace with it, whatever you're worried about. For example, right now, Zach, you need to frame this in a way. Hey, we're broken up right now. I've talked to her mom. She's going to a psychiatrist. She's identified it as a problem. She's working on it. I have no expertise or idea how to combat full-on depression or whatever she's going through. I don't even know where this is coming from. She's asked me for space. I'm going to respect that and accept that, even though it's tough on me. And I'm going to pray for her and wish for the best. That's how you can frame that in a good way, better than, I don't know what's going on. Is she going to come back to me? She promised me that she would come back to me. You see where I'm going with that? Frame it however you want, but frame it in a way that you can move forward and not be hung up on the idea that it's a negative. It's not so much letting go. I've been good. I've been running numbers on a duplex I might put an offer on in the next day or two. Well, right now, I think the next year is a good time to make some moves. Well, as long as you, if you're going to get a loan on that, make sure that if the rent overlaps that, then it's a move, right? Life goals, location. Thanks, man. Yeah, that definitely can take time if it was a long-term and especially overall good relationship, Mom. There's always some sort of seed. Exactly. And I think that finding the seed and letting the seed go is big. I was talking to this with a client of mine that we've talked to for months. He's actually done a package deal where we talk more 5 hours at $490 so that I give him a discount, and then he can email me and go, hey, tomorrow I want to talk to you. And unpacking some of the insecurities this guy has, like we all have, there's stories from when he was a kid. There's stories from when he was a teenager, and those are attached to the insecurity. And then you need to detach those stories as if they don't have that much power. Life goals agree. What do you mean, Rob, in response to what Mac just said about the seed? A seed that leads to the depression. Yeah, and it could be multiple, but people really overlook their job because they go, oh, well, it pays me and I need to pay the bills. I get it, but if you don't like your job, if you go on a scale of 1 to 10 and your job's a 5 or lower, that's a lot of time spent on something you don't enjoy or feel fulfilled. I'm 33 and okay, I saw that. Aloha, Miss Keisha Shaw. Always welcome. Her parents, so I took her back home. I read that. Max, sorry, I'll be more specific. You don't have to be sorry at any point, bud. If I don't, communication, when someone questions you, it's not disrespectful. Sometimes people take it, oh, you don't agree with me? I didn't understand what you meant by that question. So can you elaborate? Not you, Rob. But when someone asks you a question about your take or your opinion. They're actually engaging in interest in what you said. And they're actually, instead of assuming that you meant X, Y, Z, they're actually saying, well, let me get a little deeper on this so that we can communicate, and I'm seeking to understand rather than be understood. Hi, Mackie. I think the best way to get over someone, if you're younger, is to find someone older and more mature that has their shit together and tons more life experience. That's what I'm doing. How old are you? That's really interesting because there is a lot of women out there that say that, you know, men in their 20s are highly immature. I would say that in my early 20s, I was immature in a lot of ways looking back, but hindsight's always 20/20, right? I wasn't a bad boyfriend when I was in my 20s, but I would say I would be more selfish, more closed-minded. I'm probably in my 30s. The way I broke away from that is taking on a career that I really love and got a lot of fulfillment from. Excuse me, I had a strong coffee this morning. And that was being a teacher, which I always wanted to do. And it absolutely changed my life as far as being more relaxed, being more open-minded, and then living in a place like Thailand. And in that process, that opened up a lot of things for me. So your entertainment city, how old are you? And let's just get interesting about this. Interesting in the sense that how old are you and what would be your age limitation? Okay, man, I can do that. It'll probably be tomorrow. Okay. No worries. I'm not very engaged tonight. I haven't been sleeping very well. So going to bed soon. No problem, T-Mac. You're right, Mac. I didn't realize that not liking your job could affect your mental so much and your relationships. Wow. It's so true because talking to a lot of people, I think that's become one of my first questions when someone says, she's nuts right now. She's fucking crazy. This guy I talked to a couple of days ago, she's just so jealous. Oh, God. I mean, this and that. And then I'm like, okay, so what does she do for a job? Does she like it? Fucking hates her job. Oh, really? Think about that. Think about people that have no job. I used to work in a department store that catered to a lot of rich, upper class, upper middle class. And there were some people that obviously never worked. And what I mean by that is they're impatient, rude, non-thankful, because they never had a service job before. And their worst part of their day is not finding a shoe that was oh, you don't have that in my size? Because they don't deal with any drama all day. They're bored. One of the biggest parts of being depressed, Man's Search for Meaning talks about this, is boredom. Translation, you don't have a purpose at the end of the day. A purpose could be picking up your kid from school. At the end of the day, I got to pick him up, and then I got to take him over to his piano lesson because piano lessons is something he really enjoys. And, you know, someone that just goes shopping for useless clothes items, it's not going to fulfill you. Exactly. Always from it in a way which helps you moving forward. Thanks, Rob. I need to change my name. Okay. Ollie, I've been better sleeps lately. No need to wake up early anymore since we were sent home to work. I'm still working my ass off because we're setting 400 people up for remote work. Wow, this is really interesting, T-Mac. Because I've always believed that this was coming. Living in Thailand for as long as I have, and I have in the past rented a room or my full house during the high season, which is like Christmas and New Year's, for Airbnb. And the last couple of years, there was less people coming on a 1 week, 2 week vacation, and more people that were actually, what's your internet connection? Is it high? Because I do work for home. And I think that this is going to propel companies to immediately create remote work environments. And people, for the most part, maybe I'm wrong on this, will like it because there's no traffic. You're going to save on gas. So maybe, just maybe, can we get a silver lining on this goddamn coronavirus? Well, Mac, I know it's a serious thing. Let's get some fucking silver linings. One of my favorite movies, Silver Linings Playbook. What does he call it? Excelsior? Excelsior, Excelsior. I mean, what if this creates a situation where all of a sudden 400 people can remotely work from home, and then when the coronavirus, dare I say that there's possibly a vaccine in the future, when, I don't know, but that'll be a great day, right? Or when they get this fully under control, that'll be a great day, and it's coming. When, I don't know. But let's just be positive. Now, not corona positive, right? But if what comes from this is people go, wow, I really liked working remotely from home. And the company goes, wow, we saved a lot of money on electric and office costs. And people go, oh, shit, I would like to continue to work at home. Silver lining. But I'm thankful I have a job. You should be, bud. Way more workload than usual. Silver lining, I still have a job, and you're helping people. Let's see that beach, coach. Ooh. Put me on the spot. I am going to the beach this afternoon. I will take film. Done. I'll get it up in 24 hours because life goals asked. I did say 2 days ago I would, and it has been beautiful here. I actually have less of a workload. I hope things get back to normal by June. Keisha Shaw, what a part of Hawaii do you live in? Oh, no, Keisha, tell them why that is. Keisha doesn't live in Hawaii. She'll tell you probably. That's good. 27 and the current ex, I'm trying to get over 28. So just out of curiosity, you're 27 years old. You said you'd rather date a man with more life experience. What's your age up to? Are you going to cap it at 40? Are you going to cap it at 45? This is funny because there was a individual that I did a live coaching with a while back, attractive woman, 28 years old, great job, was going to school for her master's. And she said, I think her boyfriend was similar age, 28, 29. And they were together for a long time. And I won't go into the details of the breakup. I've talked about this before. But she actually said, she goes, you know what? I don't mind. I'm just going to go for a man that's 40 that knows where he's at in life and has some maturity. So I don't know if that's what you thought at the same time. What's up, Lisa Wade? LA's finest. Yeah, I am. I'm hoping companies are more open to remote work after this, the opportunity to go somewhere for 1 or 2 months and work. I'd go down to South America every year. I think it's coming. I thought it was coming anyways, T-Mac. I think that this will propel it. I think it's a good thing. And I've witnessed it living in a place like Thailand where, let me just tell you, the internet's outstanding here. So like 5-6 years ago, the internet, we got 5G, and my monthly bill for internet is like $35, which I believe is pretty cheap for high-end internet or top quality. I really think that it's fiber optic, 200 over 200. I really think this is an attack on the oil industry, but I'm a conspiracy theories, so LOL. Okay, well, I'll leave you to that one. I don't know a lot about that. I don't have a limit, really. I like them all. You just want maturity. Okay. Lisa Wade, I'm like, how are the governments going to screw us over after this? Oh, here's the thing, folks. This is not why I do live streams, but there's going to be people that are going to take advantage of this financially. There already are. There's people out there that are, I know people, and it's funny, the people, people tell you who they are by their actions. I'll tell you that much. I've known people from the get-go of this that were like, yeah, I was buying hand sanitizer and then they're reselling it online. They're so proud of themselves for the profits they're making. And I'm just thinking, yeah, good for you. That tells you where your mind goes when a crisis comes. Like, how do I make money off these people's fear? The older, better. I don't mind a silver fox. Good for you. Good for you. This is definitely a cover up and it has to do a lot more than the masses thing. Sorry, Mac. I don't want to get into this in your chat. This is your show. I appreciate it, Lisa. The live stream, usually, we don't have a ton of people on here, so we could talk about what we want. And I don't mind you dropping a line or two about something like that, because we did bring it up. So it's all good. And if you have a conspiracy theory, okay, could be. Let's circle back, since we got some new people on the topic, about how to let go of your ex. How do I let go of stress? How do I let go of problems I can't fix? How do I let go of my insecurities? So let's start with how to let go of your ex. Talked about this before. Change where you live, change your environment, change your job, change your outlook. How to let go of your ex. I would start with writing out your story and taking an assessment of who you are and where you're at in your life as an individual. I would do a live coaching session with myself, because I'm highly biased, or someone else. Those are ways that you could let go of your ex. Let's talk about this in a different way. How are you holding on to your ex would be a good question to counter that. That would be doing the same things over and over again, not identifying triggers that make you more and more down. I've talked about this before. If coming home to an empty house at 8 p.m. at night triggers you to be very, very sad, then at 8 p.m. at night, don't be home. Go join. Well, you can't do this now, the coronavirus. Go do something at 8 p.m. that's active. Okay. Get really clear on that. Let's talk about, how do I let go of stress? Identify specifically what's stressing you out. I talked earlier, your job. What at your job stresses you out? So I just talked about, and I'm going to break this down in my book, but I'll share it with you guys because I like you and you're on my live stream. When you talk about your job, we want to look at a few things. Camaraderie. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the camaraderie? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your significance, importance at the job? Meaning, do they depend on you? Do you do good work? Are you proud? And then, are you proud and privileged of that job? Those are 3 things I'd really like someone to look at when they look at their job, career, purpose, volunteer work. That's why I tell people to do volunteer work. You're usually proud and privileged of that. Someone would say, well, what about financials? Financials actually are important. But let's say you're compensating a job where you make $100,000 a year, but the camaraderie sucks. Actually, the camaraderie is a negative. I just talked to a woman that said, I go, how's the camaraderie at work? She goes, she was from New York. She goes, it's fucking horrible. I said, she goes, there's 2 ladies in there that are older that gossip and create drama and shit between everyone. That's actually a negative on camaraderie. You will take that shit home. Secondly, I asked her, are you proud to work there? No. I'm not doing what I wanted to do. Do you do significant or important work? No. They actually ask me to do things that are quite easy, correct other people's work when I can do it myself. Right there, that stress, here's the thing about stress, it bleeds over into other things. So if you have one big stress bubble, it's almost like it multiplies other things. Hence the reason someone comes home and, someone's got their dog in your yard, right? And you're like, get the fucking dog out of my yard immediately. That thing pisses and shits in my yard one more time, I swear, I'm going to throw it across the street. That's extreme, right? That doesn't come from someone hating the dog. That comes from someone being pissed off somewhere else in their life and taking it out on you. How do I let go of problems I can't fix? Well, identify, where's my power in this situation? For example, this is a big problem I see. Oh, my ex and I broke up, but I still see them on social media. What do I do? Block them? Oh, I couldn't do that. Well, tell me, how can you fix the problem then? Be solution-based, not problem-based. Great book, Mindset by Carol Dweck. Read it. How do I let go of my insecurities? This is a big one, isn't it? Identify your insecurities first. I feel unattractive. Why do you feel unattractive? I'm losing my hair. Okay, I'm going bald. Okay, so look up haircuts that would be favorable to people that are going bald. The other thing about letting go of your insecurities, find the seed, find the root, and pull that motherfucker out. Okay. Just trying to catch my spot here because I kind of fell behind. Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to pull an Anna Nicole and go for the life insurance, but if we vibe, we vibe. Anna Nicole. Wow, that's an old story. Anna Nicole Smith from Entertainment Tonight type. Oh, no, that's funny. I forgot who she was. Yes, silver lining, work from home. I love it, except I'm a nurse, Mac. Well, Keisha, the silver lining is I love nurses. I appreciate nurses. And you are a very important part of society and well respected, I hope. So, yeah, you couldn't do that remotely. I suppose there would be more house calls if it was remotely, which is supposedly, though, Keisha, I don't know what kind of nurse you are, hun, but they're starting to do a lot more. Even with psychiatry, my dad, who maybe my dad wouldn't want, he doesn't watch this, but part of the Veterans Center, they didn't have a psychiatrist available, and they would do FaceTime. And it's exactly what I do with people with breakup coaching and talking about their things. People enjoy it. So I'm wondering, when people have symptoms and different medical problems, there's going to be a lot more FaceTiming. What's come out of this virus is you realize what's important. We are so hung up on exes, but life is so much bigger than one person. Great point, Monica. I agree. I've had a few friends send me like some soppy, you're a great friend kind of a thing. I'm like, where's this coming from? As Morpheus said to Neo, let's see how far the rabbit hole goes. Anyways, my ex posted a pic with a new girl he's dating and said, she taught me how to love myself. That's when I absolutely knew to let go. How to block them on all platforms. What are your thoughts, Mac? First of all, that might not have been directed towards you. If you took it personal, then your only power to do is to not be putting yourself in a situation where that's available. Secondly, I would just say that anytime you stay connected to your ex through social media, you're susceptible to a hurtful message that might not have been intentionally hurtful or is intentionally. I mean, when you are connected through social media, it is so distance based. It is so open loop based, meaning you don't know the real story, that the assumptions will drive you nuts. And so once you're broken up and you have some inkling of love or feelings for that person still, just know that you're susceptible to being hurt if they meet someone new or make a comment like that. Him saying, that's when I absolutely knew to let go. That might not have meant towards you. That might have been let go of his guard from falling in love with someone. So the fact that she taught me how to love myself. Okay. You could be happy for him. I mean, if you're in a really good place, Lisa, you could say, wow, I'm happy for you. Fine. If you take that as he's absolutely knew to let go of you, if it bothered you, then block him, because that's not helping you out as an individual. But I wouldn't take it personal, because that statement could be interpreted 10 different ways. Pretty low blow. I don't find it to be a pretty low blow. I don't think he directed it at you because he posted a pic with a new girl. I mean, this is social media for everyone. Been there, babe. He's trying to get under your skin. We will not give him the power. I don't know him well enough to say he was trying to do that. This is why I don't follow exes online. Easier said than done. I know I'm going through it too. I don't think it's that difficult to block. I don't know why people find it so difficult to block people on social media that they don't want to. Okay, look at it this way. Everyone's wiping their hands with copious amounts of alcohol and cleaning their hands and wearing masks and doing all these things. Why? They're preventing the possibility of spreading the virus or getting the virus. So if you block someone on social media, you're preventing the situation of finding out your ex is with someone new, which would be the ultimate hurt. He actually did the opposite. There is no chance that I would ever consider being with him again. Peace. Peace and love. Good for you, T-Mac. I can tell you are good people. Although finding out my ex is on OnlyFans was the final thing I needed to let go. I feel nothing for him, and it was closure for me. Not Annika. What's up, Sabina? I hope she figures things out. Those daddy issues, they are tough. Thanks. My ex is a nice person, too. She's just very hurt and has family trauma and daddy issues. And that's her responsibility to get that taken care of. Right, Monica. Yeah, I ignored the fact that she hates her dad. That was a mistake. When you get deeper and deeper into relationships, it's really interesting to see the dynamic of someone's relationship with their parents, because you're next, meaning how they treat their family, friends, and really look at how they treat their family and close friends. So many early red flags we miss. Well, we don't, the great Steve Jobs, who I don't hold in a high regard because of the way he treated his daughter, if his movie's true, said we connect the dots after the fact. And it's true. Yes, we escalated the sex really quickly. It blinds you, and something to be said for waiting. Well, don't be too hard on yourself, because good sex goes a long ways in getting your attention, right? Lust, love is powerful drug, blinds you to the red flags. Yes, those endorphins, they definitely blind you. Very important part of neuropsychiatry in our lives. When you see people getting anxiety and panic disorder over toilet paper these days, that's ridiculous. Where I live, I haven't gone through that yet, but it's pretty crazy. Lisa Wade says, nah, fuck him. Sorry, Mac, but you're absolutely right. But I don't wish him good or bad. I wish him to get whatever he put out, just being honest. Well, I like the honesty. No need to be sorry, hon. I mean, there is some value in, when you're getting over a relationship, to get a little angry. It does mean you care, by the way. And I think it is a prelude or a stage before letting go. Look up crazy Russian dad's toilet paper video. Pretty hilarious. Okay. Waking up. I will. T-Mac. Watched it. Okay. Thanks. Rages against cultural rot, but in a funny way. He was like, okay. He was like, if Thanos were standing next to me, I'd snap his fingers for him. I don't know what that's in regards to, so I'm a little lost. Up to 58 minutes, folks. This has been good. This has been great. Your Entertainment City says, I can't wait till I get to the phase when I can say fuck them. Everyone's like, give it time. That's the only way. Don't contact him. Back off. Your Entertainment City, did you ever send me your story? Send it in, hon. Actually, you had said you want to do a live coaching session. A lot of you guys that are staying at home, I would book the coaching session. Get a full refund if it's not helpful or useful. He's Native American and has a thick New York accent. Funny dude. I love Native Americans. Thick New York accent. Okay. Fuck them. Going to the beach today. I will film it. Why the story of breakups help you, coach? I'm sorry, May. What do you mean by that question? You're always asking for people to send you their story. Why does it help me? Well, for the YouTube channel, it's content. Secondly, if you want my advice, which I enjoy giving advice on this stuff, call me sick. It's not a good joke to say you're sick these days. The best way for me to give you advice on your breakup is to know your story. So, like I said earlier in the live stream, someone was asking me, their friend broke up in a long distance relationship. The guy cheated, and the girl was like, "Why did he do it? Well, what was the story? Tell me everything." Right? So, for me to give you good advice, I need to know the whole story. Everyone has a fucking story. That's how they believe. That's how they believe what happened and what went down. When in reality, it's just an interpretation, right? If someone cheated in a long distance relationship, Keisha, May, Sabina, you guys can all have a different reason of why the person did it. And I need to know what you believe happened, what really happened. So every story has some facts. And then they have these parts where someone goes, I think, which means I don't know. And I pick those up. Or I'm wondering, or all I want is them back. That's a feeling of emotion. I mean, so the story is actually paramount in me giving you advice. If you just tell me, why do people break up? Tell me your story so I can elaborate. It's kind of like someone goes to the store and they go, I want a jacket. And someone goes, what's your size? And someone goes, I don't care. Give me any jacket. Well, then you're going to get an oversized or an undersized jacket and you're not going to be comfortable and you're going to be pissed off. Be specific. Well, then that's why you need to face it, your entertainment city. Book a live coaching session. Trust me, I don't like women crying, but crying's actually a good thing to get it out. But if you need to face the music, you need to get that stuff out, hon. Going to turn in early for sleep. Have a good night. Day peeps, chins up. Life goes on. X fades in the background. Watch some funny YouTube videos. Right on, T-Mac. People should take time for themselves now and look at themselves. Good point. Good night. You're always asking people. I answer that. Your entertainment city, you will get there. Only time and no contact will get you there. I promise you will get to a point where you don't even think of your ex anymore. This is my second breakup in a few years, and it's been way easier this time for some reason. My processing is better, and I feel more prepared to move on than my last one, although it's never easy. So back to coaching, Mac. I've been talking to my ex on the phone for hours, but we keep it friendly. We laugh, reminisce. Today I asked him what I can do to get him back. What do I do now? Oh, you cheated. Keisha, I would have to know more of your story. May's like, oh, here we go again. Yeah, they're like lectures. I think my format of, well, I mean, if you don't like the style, then go to a different YouTube channel. But the story is everything. Get a coaching with Mac. He really helped me when I sent my story. He gives it clear, cut, and dry. You will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Well, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. I agree with you. I have to remain in contact, though. He calls me every night, every morning. I don't want to block him, but I just want to be stronger emotionally when it comes to him. Well, I can help you with that. Thank you, Lisa. Keisha, did you use those exact words? What can I do to get you back? Did you ever talk to him why you did what you did? Keisha, you cheated. Oh man, not judging, but yeah, that's a whole different ball game. We were together for 7 years. I think I was looking for excitement again. I regret it. Short answer, Keisha. Forgive yourself. You're a human being. Human beings cheat. The difference is, did you cheat or are you a cheater? You know the reason. I'm not the moral police. And like I said, since the beginning of time, people have been doing this. You were sorry. You admitted it. He knows now. If you want to revisit the relationship, you're going to start a new relationship. You admitting that you're wrong doesn't need to carry on and carry on. The individual needs to forgive you or not forgive you. And so the first step for you guys possibly getting back together is being in each other's presence, having dinner, lunch, drinks, whatever, and seeing where you go from there. Mac looks so troubled by Keisha's story, but Mac's going to give you the best advice always. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it because I could just feel Keisha's been on the live stream a lot, and I've never met her through FaceTime or one of these things, but she seems like good people. She makes good comments. And sometimes one of the most powerful things you could do for yourself, go in the fucking mirror in the morning or at night. And maybe some people think this is ridiculous and go, I forgive myself. I'm doing the best I can right now. Because I can feel by what you just said, you feel a lot of guilt and shame still. And if you take that guilt and shame into getting back together, you'll be walking on eggshells. Well, Keisha, I would say you need to be in each other's presence. Stop talking on the phone so much. I don't know if this was a long distance relationship or what, but at some point, being in human presence, which again, I know it's the corona fucking virus. So someone goes, oh, we can't go outside. It's social distancing. That's very good, Mac Demir. I mean, there's a mantra I've put together, or a affirmation, if you will, that's half EFT and half hypnotherapy. I've been working with a hypnotherapist on it, and I'm working with a couple clients on it. And it's based on letting go. And this is where I was going in the live stream. We went in 15 different directions. And at the core of it is finding out what you want to let go of. And I would have to bet, Keisha, that you want to let go of the guilt you probably feel for cheating with someone for 7 years. And you can do that. You know, you made a mistake. Was it a habit? There's a difference. I feel you, Keisha. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are different. I appreciate all your comments. Thanks. So try that tonight and tomorrow morning. Some people say they cry. Look in the mirror and go, I forgive myself. I'm doing the best I can. I did the best I could. And maybe, yeah, I was looking for a little excitement, but I'm a human being and I made a mistake. Tell yourself that. Don't look for it from him. Does that make sense? And if you're still going through some stuff over this, shoot me an email and we'll do a coaching session. Hi, Coach Mac, just got here. I have a tardy slip. Okay, hippie chick. Because I always give in when it comes to him, but this time with everything going on, it's different. I feel you, Keisha. We all make mistakes. I appreciate all your comments. We do all make mistakes. It's what you do after the mistakes, right? What's Mexican again? Whistle, whistle. Nothing you can do if you cheated. Just wondering what you are getting out of still talking. Nothing you can do if you cheated. Well, yeah, there is something you can do. There are people that get back together after that happens. So you can say sorry. You can explain. If the person wants an explanation, you can give it to them. And that's what you can do. So it's not that you can do nothing. That's not true. Because there are individuals that cheat and then they rationalize, well, I cheated because I just needed excitement. If you're saying why you did it, but you're also saying, look, I wish I didn't do it and I'm sorry if I hurt you, well, then that's what you can do, is you can apologize. Whether that person accepts your apology or not is up to them. But that's putting your best foot forward. What's after F? I like no regrets. I keep saying to people, if I'm going to get a tattoo, I'd have no regrets on my arm. In my country, we say after F, no regrets. Have you ever thought about that though? Because in this mantra that I was using for no regrets, did you ever think about ignorance, right? Ignorance or being ignorant is you don't know what you don't know. Doesn't mean you're stupid, right? Think about that for a minute. You don't know what you don't know. It's like you're 5 years old, you touch the burning pan or frying pan and you burn yourself. And your mom goes, I told you. And you go, yeah, now I know, Mom. Because when you told me, I still didn't really know. You just told me. And so, Keisha, when you cheated, maybe you didn't really know what was going to turn of it. You were just following human instincts of attraction or whatnot. Now, art is spelled wrong. No, I don't know that commercial, hippie chick. Where I'm going with all this is that give yourself a fucking break out there sometimes, you know? We have all these rules and regulations and different things in societies and religions. Create your own and sometimes you're doing the best you can with the information you have. Sometimes you're doing the best you can with the situation you have. I did the best I could with what I knew then. It's like, I'm 39 years old right now. I'm no fucking genius. I'm not bulletproof. I've had problems in my life. And, you evolve, you change, and hopefully you get better and better. But along the way, someone that hasn't made some mistakes in lives or hasn't had some setbacks, I don't really want to hang out with people like that, actually. That's such good advice, though. There's things I need to forgive myself about that has nothing to do with a mate. That's good advice for life in general. It is. About a year and a half ago, I was just being really candid with my client earlier today. And that's one of the things I do in a coaching session. I'll share some of my own life experiences. It's a different approach because it makes us closer and it makes you feel a little bit more like it's not all about you fucking up or in a bad place. Like I said, it's my own approach. I think therapists would say never share some parts of your life because it's all about the client. I think if your situation's relative to something like them, then it builds a really strong rapport, and people feel better that they're not the only one that had a few problems. And if I share something to you that's personal, and that's related to you, you feel like you're helping me maybe a little bit, right? And that's the ultimate in human rapport, I believe, is when you're helping each other, if that makes sense. And so how you talk to yourself is a big deal, Keisha. Make sure you're being nice to yourself, okay? Keisha, use this time and move forward with everything. Maybe that ex isn't for you the right partner. Good therapist, share a bit of their life. Do they? Okay. Because some people have told me before, oh, you're never supposed to. I have never been to a therapist before. I've done hypnotherapy. And that lady, different approach, I think, because it's very short. Thanks, Lisa. Good to have you back on the live stream. I guess my question is, do I continue sitting on the phone talking for hours or give him an ultimatum and tell him I don't want to be his buddy? I want him back. Okay, so my first question would be, why haven't you guys met in person? Why are you talking on the phone for hours, Keisha? Why haven't you been? Because to me, talking on the phone for hours, first of all, I'm just not a big fan of it unless I'm doing a live coaching call. But someone that I'm interested in, I like to meet up and be in person. So why haven't you guys met up? Are you a long distance apart? Okay, send me your story, hon. You can definitely do that. I won't. Do you want a response on YouTube? Keisha, how can you give him an ultimatum when you messed up? Give him time And also what Max said. Well, like I said, you got to forgive yourself. Salma coming out of nowhere. Ultimatums don't usually work. My short answer, yes. Ultimatums don't work with adults. Adults with any kind of self-esteem or confidence don't like to be told they have no. It's basically an ultimatum's a gun to the head. And I've actually, that's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. That's how I broke up with an ex. Is that I gave her an ultimatum. But that being said, that particular situation had to happen because I was so fed up. That actually opening the door for them to go out. But ultimatums don't usually work. Ultimatum is you not wanting to work through things and being a bit impatient. But my short answer, Keisha, would be for you to somehow meet up in person, because the human presence of being at lunch or dinner, and it either softens things. Okay, like, you're like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. It's like I see my mom 2 times a year. So I visit California for a month. This year is 3 times. And then they'll usually come to Thailand and visit. And I talk to my mom regularly on FaceTime, but hanging out and being in person, obviously this isn't a romantic relationship, but it's different. If you have a long distance relationship, you need to be in each other's presence. Plus, he's a man. You shouldn't do that to him. Ultimatum. He ain't a child. Well, there's your short answer on the ultimatum part. Yeah, I wouldn't push it there. And you got to use your intuition. You know this individual, if you've been with them for 7 years, about their intentions, and if they're receptive to the fact that they want to work through this, or are they throwing it in your face that you hooked up with someone else? Ultimatums only work if you literally don't care about the outcome, which you do. Ultimatums will bite you in the ass if you really care about that person. Good point, Luisa. What I would add to the ultimatum is some people do them, and it's almost a bully tactic. I'm saying that, and I did it because you want to force the issue. But the shitty thing is when the ultimatum doesn't go in your favor, you can't really go back and go, oh, yeah, it's okay. Right? Let's say the ultimatum is, I want you to quit drinking or I'm leaving. Alcohol. Okay? If they say, well, I'm going to keep drinking, and you go, okay, you can keep drinking, it makes you extremely weak. So there's no going back. Well, I spoke with my ex yesterday, first time in 2 weeks. She was emotionless. She said, we haven't spoken lately, and I'm really happy I didn't respond. Time to move on, trying. Well, Robert Cook, book a live coaching session. I'm available, bud. Let's get into this thing. That's fucking tough. We haven't spoken lately, and I'm really happy. I actually had a situation. Yeah. She's trying to hurt you. But I've talked about this before. An ex I had, which I haven't had many, did that. I sent an email. This was years back, 11 years or 10 years. And I was like, hey, let's get a cup of coffee. It was like 3 weeks of no contact or something like that. And she waited like 5 hours, which I know she got the email. And she's like, look, I'm so happy right now. I think it would be really awkward. And that crushed me. So that's your sign, Robert, to stop trying and embrace no contact. I don't want to be his friend or phone pal. Right, Mac, I've done it too. I learned and never gave another ultimatum again after I was looking dumb because it didn't go my way. Yeah, I mean, but that being said, me as an individual, I'm not pushy or controlling in relationships. I'm not. I think I'm pretty flexible, actually. So for me to get to a point where I wanted to do an ultimatum meant that I had a huge problem that I just could no longer accept, and I didn't have the balls to just break up over. So an ultimatum makes it for them to make the decision to break up with you. But the reality is, looking back, I shouldn't have been surprised. She's being cold to concrete her decision in her mind. Feelings change with time and no contact. That's true. Good point, Salma. Where are you at in the world, Salma? I'm going to stop trying now, and I'm going into no contact and move on. Good for you, Mr. Cook. The reality is mostly different of what we want. Robert, it's not easy, but that doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. Some of the hardest things in our lives turn out to be the best things we ever did. New York City, city of dreams, as the great Snoop Dogg used to say. We're in 2 different states. Moved away after we broke up. My mom passed recently, and he reached out. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that your mom passed away, hon. Genuinely sorry to hear that. Okay, I'm sending my story, and yes, you can answer on the YouTube. Okay, do that, hon. Absolutely. You are an Aquarius, right? You guys are usually flexible in relationships, so I get that. Yep, February 1st. I actually had a client a while back that, yeah, I'm sorry about your mom, hon. My parents are getting older, so you think about that. My father just had a stroke, and it's just, my heart goes out to you, hon, because I'm close to my mom too. So sorry to hear that. Send the story, and I'll definitely help you unpack it. The memories, flashbacks of the person I was with is the hardest part. The memories, man, they hurt. One thing and listen, when I give you these recommendations, Robert, I know they're not going to cure you, but they're just little helpful things. Okay. Write it out in a journal. It's just to get it out of your head. So buy yourself a journal and just start writing, just so make sure you're getting your exercise. And if you can't leave the house, do it in the house. Stay extremely active and start writing out what you want to do with your life. That's the ultimate dream for Robert Cook in the next 5 years. What would Robert Cook as an individual do that would make him so happy? Live in Hawaii and have a fruit farm? I don't fucking know. Make sure it's fucking something interesting and compelling and cool. And you can't make it happen tomorrow, but you go, if I could do that, that would be fucking cool. Mine was to live in Thailand near a beach and teach at a university. I did it, but it didn't happen in a day. Sorry, Keisha. Oh, man, I'm really sorry. I know how it feels to lose a loved one. Man, I wish I was there. I was there with something I could say to help. Well, just the idea. You know what, Lisa? Sometimes you want to do more, but just having compassion for an individual, there's something to that. There's something to that. Like an honest, I'm sorry to hear that. I think it goes far enough. 123. I was just talking to a client today that said, I'll probably talk about this in another live stream or a video. And he was questioning the fact if he had any hobbies or purposes, a purpose or something that was really special to him. And he was saying he does woodwork, and he goes, I don't even know if I really like woodwork. Maybe I'm just doing it because, I'm so tedious about this and that. And if you really want to know if something is something you really, really, really enjoy, and it's a sweet spot for you as an individual, the answer is, are you in a flow state when you do that action? What is a flow state? It's when you lose track of time while you're doing something that is both challenging and rewarding at the same time. And when I do a live stream and I just went an hour and 24 minutes, it feels like it's been 10 minutes. So this is my flow state. And I had a 2-hour live coaching this morning. Robert, there are those journal already made, and you follow just their instructions. You can find them online or in a bookshop. Okay. And any kind of journal. I'm just saying, if you have a lot of memories and flashbacks, just the idea of getting it out of your head, and don't fight it. But like I said, I know now it's time to stop trying and move on. For her to say, we haven't spoken and I'm really happy. I think that was an attempt to hurt me. And if you're really battling with that, I'd highly recommend doing a live coaching session with myself. I will refund you the money if you don't find it useful and helpful. And I mean that. If you're having trouble with that, Robert Cook, not to sound cliche, but time will heal you. That's absolutely, it's not cliche. It's true, Alex D. That's a kind thing to say. I'm sorry to hear about your parent that had a stroke as well, Mac. Man, so damn sad. He's better now. So he's doing better. Thank you. We were only together 6 months, so I hope so, mate. Well, that'll help. That'll help. I'm compatible with Aquarius. I haven't really dated one, though. Something to think about, though. I've actually had people that are into that, what I mean, astrology or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I thought you were an Aquarius. What I was saying earlier before I got off the path of someone that had went deeper and said, Chinese New Year, where you're a rooster, or the year of the rat. I always thought I was the year of the rooster or the chicken. And this lady was like, nope, you're the year of the monkey. And I looked up monkey, and that was pretty interesting. So that's a whole nother thing to unpack, what year you were for the Chinese astrology. And Robert, I hope you were not emotionally invested much. As your first. Okay. Well, no contact will help. Day by day will be better. Sabina knows. Forgive yourself. I'll update you guys as the months go on. Have you ever dated a Gemini? Also, I don't really know about Chinese astrology. No. Well, I mean, dated? I mean, does that just mean you went out with? I don't know, because I wouldn't remember. Not that I've dated 1,000 women, but I wouldn't. What month is Gemini? Looking back, if you're interested in this stuff, my first ex-girlfriend, I was, I don't know, 18, 19, 20. June. Okay, thanks. That was quick. She was a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is what month? What's January? Early January is what? Sagittarius? I don't think it helps you, but people are curious about it. Yeah. My second girlfriend was a Leo. And my third girlfriend was May. Her birthday is May 10th, so she's a Gemini. Her birthday was May 10th. So December, yeah. And then okay, so this is random. 2 Sagittarius, 1 Leo, and 1 Gemini. Oh, late May is Gemini? So what's early May? What would be early May? End of May. Oh, no, man. Sagittarius are trash. No, I wouldn't agree. They were both good girlfriends. Very outgoing. Taurus is May 10th. Okay. I don't even know what a Taurus is, but that particular girlfriend was very caring, very kind, put others first. Yeah, the other girlfriend that was a Leo was the 5-year relationship. She was all of them were good. Like the funny thing is, I've said this before. Your relationships are a reflection of you in a lot of ways, and I haven't had toxic relationships, or looking back, I don't look at them. I'm like, oh my God, she was horrible, or this or that. I've had reasons why we broke up and circumstances. It's about the person. I think that too. I definitely can see how you can identify with some of the things in a horoscope because they're broad. They're not specific, but I'm not opposed to someone that's into that stuff though. I mean, it's been around for so long. Maybe there is some truth to it. Okay. When I read about an Aquarius, I'm like, oh, that lines up. We give people water. I always think of the woman with a water bowl. You know, what's even deeper if you're into horoscopes is people really enjoy, like when I was in real estate, I was a residential real estate agent. I was doing open houses. Some people would have cool book collections, and this one had, you could find the day you were born and the year you were born, and there was a horoscope for individual days, years, and that was really interesting. What it said about me was being February 1st, 1981, a long time ago. That was some kind of really special day to be born because there were so many ones involved or something. You have to do your chart, Mac. It literally has to do with energy when you're born. Okay, so if I wanted to do my chart, well, where would I do that, Lisa? I'm always curious about that. I'm open to it. I wouldn't want to spend a bunch of money on it. My coach used it a lot and found what motivate each person in the team. What, the charts, Lisa? Then I'm glad the world is burning my fire energy. Okay, when you did your chart, Lisa, how did it help you? No? Okay. We need horoscope streaming and videos, Mac. We need a beach video, right? That's what I'm doing this afternoon. I'm going to stop playing games with you. I'll actually bring my laptop. It's free online. You put the time when you were born and where you were born. Okay, what's the website's name that you recommend? Maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't. It's free online. But here's the thing about energy, and I think Sabina would agree with me here just because we line up in a lot of different ways. I believe that your energy can be blocked by a variety of traumatic things or people in your life. There's a really good book I haven't gotten all the way through, but I found it really interesting. It's called The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. Really interesting, actually. She talks about blocking energy, and she's a doctor. I mean, she comes from a pretty sophisticated way. Yes, we need a topic how to deal with your ex according to your horoscope sign. I would do it. If I do something like that, I'm not doing it from an expert place. I'm doing it from a learning place with you. Trauma is blocking us, even so you think, yeah. It went way in depth into different parts of my personality, how you deal with love, finance, and her thoughts. Okay. How about that, Leo? Crazy or what? No, my girlfriend that was a Leo was not crazy. She was actually a really good girlfriend. Extremely good girlfriend. We had a great relationship. She was driven. She was more ambitious than I was, especially at that time. Much more into money, and if she was challenged by something, she stepped up to the challenge and wanted to give 110%. I don't know if that's a Leo thing, but crazy? No, she wasn't crazy. I haven't had a girlfriend where I was like, oh, she's crazy. I've dated women where I identified early on. I was like, okay, there's a thing called Celtic horoscope. I haven't heard of that. Depends on who you read the tarot, but I know how normal deal with the laugh out loud time to you. Trauma is something that can make you crazy. Absolutely. Do you do tarot card reading? Because I know Rob brings some of those people over from somewhere else. So are Capricorn and Virgo compatible? I don't know. Maybe someone else knows. I'm not familiar with these. You can just Google free natal chart. Natal chart is what it's called. And maybe I'll do it. Plenty of websites do it for me. My bad. I'm trying to keep up with the flying with you. No problem, hun. All good. All right, folks. I will be on at the same time tomorrow, which is 12 noon for me, but very late for you. You had one horoscope lady here. You're not into that, though, I don't think, Sabina. You're pretty pragmatic, I would say, in a lot of ways, huh? All right, I got to get ready for this beach day, and I'm going to go on a hike in the mountains to keep my lungs strong. Maybe I'll do a video of that. I think you guys would enjoy that, being in the jungle in Thailand on a hike. I don't read tarot, but I accept that people read it to me. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. All right, folks, it's Curtains. I appreciate you. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay good, and I will be back on deck tomorrow at the same time. Curtains.